Hi, just doing this quick video to show you what I've done this evening. I was having problems with the top of my tank getting quite hot and quite a lot of condensation inside the lid of the tank, and due to the fact that I didn't have much ventilation, what I was doing on the top, on this back section, is I was just lifting it up and propping it up with a cup that I use for feeding just underneath here. So what I decided to do, I did look online, I saw that you could buy some fans that you can clip onto the back of your tank. There was ones that had 2 intakes, 2 outtakes, or you could have them configured as 4 extracts effectively. What I decided to do, just because I'm quite impatient, I ended up going down to my local electronics store, Maplin's, and I purchased 2 of these 12 volt DC computer fans. I got one there, and then I put another one there. And the reason I got the 12 volt ones is just because I can run those off with a small power supply, and then that way it's less risk. Obviously with water I don't really fancy using 240 volt ones. I've wired those around the back of the tank, kept the cables quite loose. I didn't have any black sleeving, but I had some earth sleeving that I've used, so that rather than having the black and red cores individually hanging out the back of the tank, I can identify them quite easily by the earth sleeving, and then that just goes to a power supply that I can plug in as and when I need to. But just for an example, I've got a thermometer just sitting inside between the water line and the top of the tank, and it's currently 27.8. If I plug the unit in, fans both start together as the way I've wired them, and it's quite impressive actually. The temperature, had it dropped 5 degrees within a matter of minutes really. So I'm thinking of, I've got a controller that I may be able to install underneath my fish tank. I'll just need to make sure I've got a 24 volt AC power supply, and then what I'll be able to do is just write a little bit of software so that on a hysteresis basis the fans will come on at 25 or 26 degrees, and then the fans will switch off once it hits say 21, 22 degrees, because they don't actually need to be running all the time, and obviously everything's got a lifespan on it, so rather than having them run 24/7, I'd rather have the fans running on a temperature basis. I'll probably get round to that at the weekend, and then maybe do another video update just to show you how I've done it. It's a bit of a bespoke method, but I'm sure there's controllers you can buy just on a thermostat basis, but for me I'm just going to do it this way because I've got the equipment that I can use. The other reason why I think these fans are essential on my tank at least is due to the fact that in the winter months we stick our tumble dryer in the dining room, so that we don't have to keep going out to the garage, and then that also adds to the heat load in the dining room, and due to the fact that my tank's only got about 200 litre of 50 gallon tank, it's got no sump or anything for me to put cooling fans in the sump. I've got a canister filter, UV steriliser, and the protein skimmer, and then obviously the live rock to aid with my biological filtration, but I'm pretty limited to what else I could have done really. But I think 2 fans should be ample. I wanted to keep the front free so that I can obviously access the top of the fish tank for feeding purposes, and then this way I can keep the lid down, keep the temperature nice and cool. Like you can see, that's dropped to 23.5 degrees in a matter of minutes, and it was up at 26 or 27, so we might get another degree drop off on that, but with that was before I had the tumble dryer switched on, so it looks like it's sticking at around about 23.5 degrees, which I'm happy with. I'm hoping that will also aid the getting that warm air out. There'll be less condensation inside the tank, less water evaporation. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. And then as and when the water level does drop, I can just top up with RO, and then I'm probably going to stick to doing 20% every 2 weeks. Some people say you can get away with 10% every 2 weeks, but my nitrate's currently sitting at around about 15 parts per million. I'd like to get that down to about 10. For the size of the tank, 7 fish is probably about as much as I can have, but I might be looking at, maybe get some more turbo snails or a cleaner shrimp, maybe some hermit crabs, so more of a clean up crew really, so I don't think they take as much out of the tank as fish would, but getting back on track a bit, and looking forward to seeing the results in a couple of months. Alright, cheers.